Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Happy Old Reds. Top 3 Old Reds. As Forest beats Spurs by a goal to 0. Let's get into it. Evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. And remember, the table never lies. Forest are third for at least another hour. Wait, as soon as Arsenal kick off,
2 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours.
No, as soon as Arsenal kick off, we go fourth.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, because they got a point.
Yeah.
They got a better goal difference. All right.
Yeah.
Well, on that negative note, hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah. What a way to start.
Hope you guys are doing well. As always, you know the drill. Please hit the like button, subscribe. You'll be pleased to hear I ain't going to do much of the talking today because I can't. Celebrate. That deserves a like in itself. But one thing I want to say is I didn't know this till about an hour ago. We have a 5-point gap over 5th place. Did you not know that?
So you didn't look at my WhatsApp message then?
No.
No.
I didn't. But anyway, did anyone else not know that? Or am I the only one who can't count?
No, you're the only one.
No,
I'm looking at the table.
I actually put, hang on, this is getting a bit scary. We're starting to build up a bit of a buffer.
Yeah.
That's what I put.
I'm looking at the table every 5 minutes, so I did know that, yes.
Well, you can forgive me, can't you? It's like, what's the point of looking below third? Do you know what I mean? I don't need to scroll down anymore. It's like, remember the days where you had to scroll towards the bottom of the Premier League, man? Oh, God.
I was dead chuffed early in the season when we were on page 1 of the Premier League, you know, i.e. in the top 10. I was like, oh, we're on the first page.
Right, before I shut up, let me shout out to the legend, Jay. He's such a top bloke. Thank you so much for the £5, Jay. It says, evening, gents. It's so great to see the ex-pro pundits and media in meltdown because their precious Cartel 6 ain't dominating this season. Mate, I'm loving this season, mate. I am absolutely loving it. Glad you're loving it, Jay. I'm sure everyone in the chat is as well. All right, no more delays because I can't talk. Let's jump into it. Let's start with the lineup, and there was a massive debate between back 3 and back 4. Nuno went with the back 4. How were you with it?
I was a little disappointed. I wanted us to keep, because I love that shape we had last in our previous game. But you know, in Nuno we trust, don't we, Ed?
Yes, we do. So you said yesterday,
So I personally, when I saw it, I thought, oh, okay then. So we're going to defend. We'll defend deep, catch up on the break, score a goal after 70 minutes, bring on Morata, and that'll be the end of the game. that was the game plan. I could see it right there in front of me. So yeah, I wasn't too devastated by it. I thought it was good enough to beat Spurs.
Yeah.
Either of our formations and teams would have been good enough to beat Spurs. So
let me
it
just add to what Ant was saying, because we were having the same conversation. But the only other thing we were thinking was he's done that to deal with Maddison, but then Maddison wasn't on this starting.
Yes.
We hadn't seen their starting lineup at this stage.
Yes.
Excuse me. And assumed he's brought Yates on to deal with Maddison, but then Maddison's not in the starting lineup. And yeah, the way the game played out, obviously it was the right formation because I think Nuno got a lot right. But back to you, Ant. Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no, that's it really. Regarding the formation, there's not much more to say. I mean, we know we're comfortable in that formation. Anderson once again proved what a fantastic bargain he was. MGW, listen, one of the best things to come out of that game for me is it's another game where we can see MGW getting back to some sort of top form, and that can be so. I've been critical of him because he hasn't performed well for the majority of this season, but when he does, you can see the player he can become and the player he is. And it's so important. If he can continue with this vein of form that he's got, it really helps with our European push. There's no doubt about that. So I was really pleased on that aspect. The defenders, we don't need. Well, we will talk about them, but we know we've got the. I'm kind of getting to say, I saw a program today. In fact, it might have been Never a Foul last night. I can't remember, but
It was.
I think that Wolfie was saying, do you lot agree it's the best defensive pair? And they're kind of most were kind of no, what about this, that, and other. But idea 1 or 2 saying, well, I'm not saying it's the best defensive pair, but it could well be the best back 4. So when you include the back 4, because obviously you're looking at Arsenal and you're looking at Liverpool as the other 2 clubs that have got those two fantastic central defenders, but we've got better on the outside than they have. So as a back four, people are starting to recognise just how good we are.
Well, let's extend it to the back five because again, a man of the match,
I agree.
Man of the match performance yesterday from our boy Sales in the middle of our goal. So yeah, you know what? I'm not surprised they're starting to say that, but we've obviously had this discussion since early on in the season. Have we got the best player in? And so on. The consistency is what's been great, but also you take Moreno out and you bring Nico Williams in, who's been right. He's had two of the toughest tests out of all the players in the last couple of years. How he's dealt with them brilliantly well. He's come on leaps and bounds, but it's something we all noticed under Nuno. We said Nico Williams' progress is fantastic, but he's waited his time. He's got him in, and right now you wouldn't drop him. He's one of the first names on the team sheet when we're playing like that. He's absolutely fantastic. So whether you're playing in the back, we've seen him in back three and in the back four, in a wing back and a full back role, and I've got to say he's been absolutely exceptional in both roles,
I agree.
Defensively and in an attacking sense. So the players have got better, even though we've had to switch out one or two players, and it's usually on the fullbacks. But even when we've added another central defender, it's the system that Nuno's got. It's also it's the belief that he's got in our players, and thankfully now in the fan base. Because let me just go on from what Ant's saying. Then, so as soon as something that I've mentioned in the last couple of games, and I've not been to the last. I wasn't at the Villa game, so I was watching it from TV. But what it looked like or sounded like from the TV is that the fans are a lot more patient within the stadium, and yesterday was the same. We could see what the game plan was. The fans weren't moaning that we weren't scoring early on, that we were giving them a lot of the ball. The fans understand the process. I mean, I'm sounding like Cooper now, but they understand what he's trying to do, and they're patient, and it was brilliant. And I'm seeing a lot more culture amongst. I hate to say this, but Forest fans are a bit more cultured than they were back in the day, you know. And
you know what else though is, I believe what else is that the fans like me, we feel secure with that defense, so we're not worried now like before. Before, if we were moving it about in defense or the opposition were attacking us, we'd be worried. Now we've got such belief in that defense that the fans can sit back and think, yeah, come on then, do what you like. You know, come on to us if you like. We're not going to let one in. Corner's a classic example.
And you can only speak for yourself on that. Yesterday at 4:15, I got a text message.
God.
And I'm going to swear because I'm just crying. Fucking caps lock, Morato now. Next text message. Unbearable wait for these subs. At 4:30 at last. Would anyone like to shepherd a guess?
It's not Rob then, is it?
Was there a text?
Is this the same person who sent me the text? Hello. Unfortunately, I am in a shithole known as Leeds.
Oh, we're swearing now, are we?
The thing is, it is different though when you're down the ground, because when you're down the ground, there's more of a collective feeling rather than when you're sitting by yourself or with just another person.
By yourself. Yeah, on Boxing Day.
It was. Right. I don't think it was a particularly nervy game yesterday. I don't know about you.
I want to know if Rob found it nervy, because that text. Obviously, he thinks I can multitask 9 screens and a text message that no one uses anymore during a watch along. But I get it. He was just venting. Right. He was venting.
Everybody, since we got back in the Premier League and we've been grinding out particularly these 1-0 wins, it's always a very nervous last sort of 10, 15 minutes while you're waiting for can we make it to the end of the game? Can we keep them out? But now it seems like we have that twice per game, because we have basically once it gets to about 60 minutes, I'm thinking, can't we just get Morato on, please? Can't we just get Morato on? And that 15-minute wait for Morato to come on yesterday, it's like doubling the nervousness for me. So it's just like, why didn't he just bring him on about 60 minutes? I mean, I would have had him on from the start. It's like, is he just like doing it as a flex or something? It's like, look, we don't even need Morato. We've got Yates and Anderson on yellow cards. We're not scared. Sells will get us out of trouble. It's like, just bring Morato on, for God's sake. Am I the only one? Am I the only one that laments just how took to get Morata on yesterday.
No, you're the only one who still texts us. That's for a start. Right?
Clearly, it's got cut through, though. It's got cut through.
Wait, can I just get a YN in the chat? Who still uses text messages? Just Y if you do, N if you don't. I'm intrigued. But
I use it with people that I use it for people that haven't got WhatsApp.
Well, Rob has WhatsApp.
Mom, but last time that was your mum, and that's it, you know. But to be fair, me and Ant were both saying that he bring him on at halftime. We said that, especially with Yates yellow card, and then
on the yellow.
Didn't Anderson get yellowed in the first half?
He did as well. Anderson got yellow as well.
Yeah. So we fully expected he would have made that move at halftime. But just going on to what Rob was saying, actually, it did feel like a flex. It was like, Uno was like, don't care. You know, obviously, I think Yates is out of the next game now, isn't he? He's got
I don't know.
Game.
I don't know if that's
true.
He
is. He is. I
checked. I thought it resets on Boxing Day, but okay.
No, it's that. No, can I just mention Yates as well? I don't know if anybody else thinks this. Now, Yates has never been sent off for 2 yellows, to my knowledge, right? I think he's a better player once he's been buffed.
Well, that's
more careful
because he doesn't clatter in needlessly. He doesn't rush in and give stupid fouls.
Saying that there was 1 or 2 in the second half, I thought, because when he's on another day, and he ended up getting the foul against him.
And he got the free kicks. Yeah. It was quite funny.
It was 1 or 2, but you're right.
I do think it calms him down a little bit, though.
Yeah, we did notice that. To be fair, but yeah.
Let's bring Crypto in to answer for his crimes.
God, no, we're only doing an hour and a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. How long we got?
Just before this is never a foul, mate. You speak when spoken to now until someone throws you out of jail. And shout out to Stuart. Good to have you back in the chat, bro. Chat, bro. He says the award for most poorly dressed background of 2024 are as follows: Crypto, dodgy Molyneux vibe with a hero complex in Milenkovic, Rob,
legend
complex, jumper, single scarf, and the winner is Crypto. It is freaking Crypto. You know what? You know, Stuart, we're just in sync. This is like a lovely segue into on what planet do you think it's okay that you bought that Milenkovic top? Because I want to kill you.
If there's one person in the team who's strong enough to break the Crypto curse, it's our man Milenkovic, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. And look,
that's only because he's a robot from the future, but that's the only reason why.
Exactly, I have a delayed reaction.
The Serbinator. Look, I 110% agree with Ant. I think Milenkovic is a legend, and yesterday, all of our players were fantastic, and it's actually really hard to sit here and criticize any of them because. For me, I thought yesterday was actually our best.
And you don't have to criticize anyone. You don't have to you can praise them.
I know.
You know what I mean? You can praise. It's happy old Reds.
No, Yates had a really good game. But look, yesterday everyone played their part, and I don't think there's been that many games this season where you can say genuinely every single person on that pitch was pretty much a 9 out of 10, if not higher. So. Look, it was fantastic. Another few points. The atmosphere yesterday was a lot better than the game before. I thought the atmosphere was really good yesterday. I was sat next to the A block, so maybe that's why. But they were singing all game. They were taking the mick out of the substitutes. They were giving the Spurs fans lots of banter. The Spurs fans gave absolutely nothing back. I personally didn't even hear them. I don't think I heard them once.
We did. It sounded like.
Have you ever been to White Hart Lane? Have you ever been to White Hart Lane?
No.
And you,
we were. Ez and I were in Trent End, and I turned around to him and said, "This it's like a funeral march."
I know.
Oh, when
they nicked it off Southampton. They nicked it off Southampton.
But they sing it properly. It's a jazz song for God's sake. There you see, and when the Saints go marching in, and when the Saints go marching in,
it's actually not the way Spurs sing it.
Honestly, they should just sing the theme tune to KFC, man, because they're just cooked chicken wings right now. That's all they are, man. I mean, seriously,
that's almost crypto level. That is.
Anyway, I don't care. I hate them.
You are poorly, but you're poorly. You're poorly, mate.
I'm drugged up as well right now. But yeah, it's. I want to ask you, boys, about that right side, Rob. Just for a second, I want to switch the attention to crappy Spurs. Right, Djed Spence right back. Jono, right wing, back at the City ground. I'm assuming I think that's the first time they've played in front of each other since the final at Huddersfield. So the last time they would have played it would have been when we beat Sheffield at the City ground, would have been against Sheffield United. Were you worried? Was there a little bit of you thinking, here we go, this is written?
I'm always worried that Johnson is going to score against us because it's the most obvious script in the history of football. But and he was really trying yesterday. I thought he was their biggest threat. But well done for Sells getting us out of jail a couple of times. And also, I mean, Nico Williams is regularly getting the hardest job, and he's really stepped up to the plate. I hate to use that American phrase, but like, I don't know. We contained them just about, but I really did feel like, I mean, I was expecting Son to be better. I was expecting Kulusevski to be better. It really felt like if anyone was going to score, it was going to be Johnson. But a couple of players there. I mean, Williams and Sells, we're seeing this quality in our squad because I don't think at the start of the season we would have been necessarily highlighting Williams or Sells as the sort of players that would get us 4 wins in a row over the Christmas period. But they've both been really good during this period.
Rob, just if you just give way to your honourable friend.
Pleasure.
The reason why Son and Johnson yesterday were not really, full guns is because Aina and Williams were fantastic. So I had Aina in the first half near me. I had Williams in the second half. And they were all over Son and Brennan Johnson. I mean, at one point, Brennan Johnson looked like he was going to cry with the amount of tackles Nico Williams was putting in on him.
Now, first half, when they took him on the ankle, he was crying.
So he always looked like he's going to cry.
Their performances yesterday were top notch. I mean, Aina yesterday was doing something that we don't normally see, where he was actually bullying Son off the ball in the sense that he was being physical, like running into him and pushing him over. Normally, Aina's a very skillful player. But yesterday, he was using his physicality to actually knock Son off the ball. And a few times, he knocked him off the side of the pitch, and Son was going mad, trying to get a foul out of it. But yeah, yesterday, that back four was just absolutely fantastic. It's the best I've seen them play together as a fullback. I give way back to you, Rob.
Oh, all right. Well, no, I mean, I said all I was going to say about that.
I'm not going to traffic order.
No, I was going to say, but also Crypto's clearly not on the side of tonight. That's for sure.
No, I'm not.
Also, I was going to say it was pretty coherent.
Can I segue into something I had written down, which is
GPT.
Been a bit critical of Sells previously when he let in a lot of goals. No, when he let in a lot of goals.
I feel an apology coming. Go on.
What? No, he's a goalkeeper. Why am I so big?
He's got Miguel underneath his desk.
No, you're going to talk about Sells. We want to hear this. Go on.
An apology.
Look, I always say he's fantastic at close range reaction saves. Still got a question mark over his work with long distance shots and a little bit his kicking, but I'm very happy with Sells. He's a top.
To be fair, Rob, he's tipped a few over recent long range shots over the bar recently.
But not just Sells. I also want to highlight Gibbs-White, right? If ever Gibbs-White needs to know how to play, he just needs to watch a replay of that game yesterday, because that is exactly what we want from him. He wasn't delaying his pass too long. He was delaying it just enough. His passing was excellent. In the first sort of 15 minutes, he was spraying it out to Hudson-Odoi, spraying it out to Elanga, and he wasn't doing silly pirouettes on the edge of our box. He looked like the complete player yesterday. I thought that's his best performance of the season. It would have been a 10 if he'd actually added a goal to it. And then finally, Elanga. I mean, Nuno was right about Elanga. I mean, what was it? 30 games without a goal, and he's just kept picking him. He's just kept picking him, and look at him now. And as Ez says, he's a streaky player, and let's keep him going, because Chris Wood's kind of just having a bit of a wobble at the minute. but Elanga's filling that gap really nicely.
Oh, sorry, guys.
What I thought was hilarious was after he scored his goal, he sort of tumbled over and over and over, and then he got to his feet, and he was literally 2 feet from the Spurs fans with this most sour-faced woman you will ever see. It was hilarious because like it cut to him, and he's literally trying not to crack up. It's like, I better be respectful here, but it was hilarious.
Can I just add something to that, Rob? My man up there, and I'm going to forgive him because he's ill and he's on drugs. I mean, normally it's just drugs, but this time he's on drugs. Yesterday, I was watching his player ratings, and he said that goal that Elanga scored, he gave Elanga a lot of praise. I'm not going to knock it, but he did say that goal, it was a tap-in. Even Crypto could have scored that. Now, on the day, I thought it looked a pretty damn good goal, but I was at the opposite end of the stadium.
Yeah.
Having seen it on a replay, that's a bloody good goal.
Excellent.
The way
you're so
on that
clipping me out of context.
He had a player coming this way. He had a goalkeeper coming this way. He had the ball coming through on the floor, brilliant ball, but nevertheless, it's a moving ball. He had a split second with all that pressure to pick the one and only, literally the one and only part of the net he could have scored in, and he did it beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely going Twitter on me here, aren't you, Anne?
He's drawn my job.
Yeah. Why did I say it? Why did I say that? Because I was highlighting the pass from NGW. Yeah, the pass from NGW. Weight, angle, power, pace on it, absolute perfection. And I think, I mean, you know, don't insult Crypto. I think Crypto's got a decent left foot on him.
Hang on, good for a big man. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. I've probably got a 0-star weak foot, but I'll tell you what.
What the hell would Crypto get here in the first place?
I was at the exact angle. Yeah, I'd still be back in our own goal area while they're locked running up the pitch. I said,
can we not do funny today?
I shouted, hit it past him. So I would have done the same, man. I would have scored as well. I agree.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right. No,
I mean, I wouldn't have got to the ball in time, but
you'd still be running now. Hang on, I'm coming.
But on the subject,
if you think Chris Wood's slow, I'd be
the same, mate. So don't worry about that.
But on the subject of Elanga, seeing as Rob did bring him up, let's talk about him.
Oh, he's going to make it controversial.
Well, he deserves it. I'm going to say how much he deserves his freaking flowers, because not only has he scored 3 goals in 3 games, they've all technically been the winning goals. That's 9 points he's got us, if you want to put it in those terms, and he's won us those games. And without a doubt, he's had to endure quite a lot of criticism, and rightly so at times. But to be fair, he's kept his head down. And like I said, it was this time last year he had his run of form, wasn't it? And he seems to like Christmas for some reason, but he's definitely needed, because right now the curse of Crypto over Chris Wood still hasn't been lifted yet. So you can say what you like about him. You still, Chris Wood hasn't scored since you bought that shirt. Simple as that, mate.
Can we do a social experiment? Can you throw it out the window right now?
Absolutely,
camera.
It's going back on Monday to be exchanged.
Yeah, but you're replacing it.
All right, can you replace it with like a Matt Turner one?
You nearly said Matt Sells then.
Buy a Liverpool shirt. Buy a Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, Mo Salah. Put a Christmas tree next to it.
I think we've got to revert back to the question from last week, which was very specific. Would you sell Elanga for £50 million? How much did we buy him for? 15, was it?
15.
Yeah, about 15.
Would you sell Elanga for £50 million?
Yes.
Right, should we ask the chat again? Because they are the flip-floppers.
We're going to do another one. Let's see the flip-floppers.
Wait, Ant's crashed, doesn't he? Look, he's pulling a really scary
Ant's frozen.
No, I'm looking at, I'm trying to work out whether to bother replying to this.
If it's triggered you, man. If it's triggered you, leave it.
I said no last week. Love you, Matt, by the way, but hit it past him, FFS, because I don't swear anymore. If he doesn't hit it past me, I think it wasn't just hit it past him. It was the way.
Oh, it was in the corner. It was a great goal. It was a fantastic finish and a fantastic pass from MG Dubs. I want to know,
And
Rob.
a fantastic loss of ball by Djed Spence.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Djed Spence got himself sent off, which I called before on Twitter.
And then
I
James
had a
has said
feeling as well.
he made a point of spitting on the Forest turf
Yeah, he
before he
did.
went down the tunnel.
Did
No,
he?
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
that's
did.
right.
I didn't
Did
see.
he?
I didn't.
Well, put it
Well,
this
I
way.
watched the
Put it this
video.
way. My brother said to me, "Bloody hell, I've seen that." He just spat. You know, it wasn't because players spit all the time, don't they?
Mm.
So can you not wait until you're down the thing? Do you have to do it with a tunnel?
Hey, you can't spit down the tunnel. Look what
Aaron
happened.
Angus got fined for it. Yeah.
Well, I meant
Aaron
get yourself to a
got banned
sink
for
or
that.
something. On the pitch, I understand, but once you're off the pitch, he's had plenty of time to get rid of that. And
It doesn't matter.
I
It doesn't
don't know,
matter
I
anyway.
personally didn't see it, but my brother, he pointed it out to me straight away. So
Yeah,
spat there.
Aina
Other people noticed it, Ed. Other people noticed it. So there's
I
something.
know, but I wouldn't read because
The
I
thing is,
saw
I
two
would be
videos.
surprised, Ed. I would be
Ed still
surprised
loves
if
him.
it
Ed
was.
still
There's no reason
loves
for him to have
Djed.
been disrespectful.
He loves him.
I'd still
He
want
loves
He
him.
wouldn't
I love
start
him back,
Aina anyway. I want to know, Rob,
He
if you'd
wouldn't.
sell Elanga for 50 million.
Wait, just before Rob answers, the poll is up
You
there.
normally give a long-winded answer.
Hold on. By the way, I'm only joking. If you guys change your mind, feel free to change your mind, right? It's ain't some other channels. You're welcome to change your mind. So feel free. The poll is up there. But go on, Rob. Would you sell Elanga?
No.
Wait.
Wait.
For 50
Were you a
million.
yes before? Were you a yes before?
Maybe at some
I'll
point.
remind you if you like, Rob. You went along
Yeah, we
my
can
lines of it depends who we get in his place. I
Yeah,
think that's
look, we've waited this long for him to come good. So to sell him now would be absolutely stupid. Plus, he is a young player. He could get a lot better than this. So, and that's what we're hoping for. You know, the thing that he lacks is consistency, right? Well, actually, that's maybe a bit unfair. He's either consistently bad or consistently good.
3 games.
Yeah. So, no, because I mean, the grass is always greener. Who are we imagining that we're going to buy?
Mbeumo.
All right, if you get Mbeumo, yeah, all right.
If you can get
Why not have
Mbeumo,
both?
Newsflash, we're not getting Mbeumo.
We're not
This is-
exactly.
Why not? Why not?
Semenyo?
Why not?
Well,
Why-
if we,
why would
even
you
if
want
we
us to
do,
When he
Brennan.
leaves, he'll go to a Cartel 6 club. That's why.
Cunha,
We
we're
are a
Cartel
Cartel
6.
6 club.
Yeah.
We're a Cartel 3 club.
We're not, though, are
Not like
we?
you-
We're
not
just
like the
top
shitty
6.
Arsenal.
We're top 6, not Cartel 6. There's
No,
a
we're
difference.
big 6. We're big
We're
6.
big-
Stars
yeah,
make you
big-
big.
whatever.
Stars make you big, mate.
We're
They make
big
you
4
big.
now. We're big 4.
I mean, we've got one Cartel 6 in, I think, 12th, another one in 14th. I mean, they're not top 6 clubs, are they?
Wait, his mum had a 50-50 scarf on, a half and half.
Oh, that's it. Well,
No,
we'll
it's
never
not.
allow him back in the city.
It's not.
I'm
ground.
not having one of those. Yeah.
Would you ever wear a half and half?
No.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I
No.
would.
Why?
Oh
Yeah.
no!
You
I
could
know
do in
what-
a
I know
European
what it
Cup
is.
final,
If I-
couldn't you?
if I went to a European final and we were playing
Yeah.
Bayern Munich in the final, I'd get one for a souvenir.
As
to put on my wall.
memorabilia, yeah.
Yeah, memorabilia. Yeah.
I think that's the only time it's
Oh.
acceptable. But would you get
Yeah,
a
yeah,
half
not wear it.
Forest,
I'd never
half
wear one.
Spurs one?
No.
I'll tell you who doesn't like us now. I'll tell you who doesn't like us now. And you guys missed out on this because you were at the game. Martin O'Neill really doesn't like us.
He doesn't- he's always-
What did he say?
Oh,
Because
it's
I
been
didn't
out
have
for
sound on. What did he say?
Been out for ages.
Okay, can I do my Martin O'Neill thing? It'll only take 30 seconds.
Go on.
What impression?
Right.
You're doing an impression.
You got
He's
an
no,
impression?
no,
My fault.
No, I can't. So look,
Wait, do
obviously,
we need to go solo mode again?
Do,
Martin
yeah, do
O'Neill-
any German voice.
right,
Hold on. Do your Martin impression? Go on.
I haven't got a Martin O'Neill impression. So
That's
stop
good.
it.
American.
Ooh,
He's not
good.
American.
That's good.
It's better than your Rob impression.
Don't put him off.
No,
Don't put him
look,
off.
I've got something to say to Martin O'Neill, which is we
No
waited.
swearing.
We waited 20 years for you to come and manage this club. And in the meantime, you were winning stuff with Leicester. And then when we finally got Martin O'Neill,
And Villa.
he was way past his best. And he was moaning yesterday that he was only given 17 games. And, you know, he's looking at how Forest are doing now, thinking that could have been me, etc., etc. He's not got a nice word to say about Marinakis. He's clearly bitter about the whole thing. What I would say to him is, look, Martin, none of us is ever going to get the chance to be Forest manager. Steve Cooper came along and made an immediate impact. He didn't need 17 games. He took the team from the worst possible position and got us promoted, right? So, Martin, take some responsibility for your own failures and stop sniping at the club. We still love you. You're a Forest legend. Don't come at us like this. and be grumpy and miserable on Boxing Day when we're beating Spurs.
What did he say? What did he say?
Back to the question. What did he actually say?
What did he say? I didn't.
Oh,
did you say what he said in all of that?
He doesn't. Right. I can't remember the exact words, but he
Can
basically.
you do the accent again? It was pretty good. Can you do the accent?
He's been on TalkSport as well. He's been on TalkSport and said the same thing. He feels that Marinakis didn't give in.
No, accent. It was good. I'm serious. It was good. We'll get Owen to judge you on the accent.
I only got 17 games, and Marinakis never gave me the chance. And I'm going to end up sounding like Ian Paisley. Just move on. But look, it's just really disappointing to hear that from someone that we would. Let's not go into the meaning of the word legend again, right? But like from one of the European Cup winners. I mean, why didn't he come and manage Forest in the noughties? Why didn't he take over from Paul Hart? Why did we have to suffer through Billy Davis? We would have happily had him as Forest manager then. You know, we would have happily had him as Forest.
Can you remember, Rob? Rob, sorry to interrupt you, but it is pertinent. Can you remember? I think it must have been before we appointed Frank Clark. The whole stadium, every game was singing Martin O'Neill, Red and White Army, Martin O'Neill. Yeah.
So he was wanted and he didn't come. And he chose to make a success of Leicester instead. And when we finally got him, we brought him out of retirement. And it was clear that his ideas had not kept up with the modern game, right? And the players didn't enjoy playing for him. And I think 17 games, he was probably given...
That's what he said, Rob. That's what he said.
Yeah, no, he's said more than that. He's been on TalkSport before, and he's dissed the owner, and he's dissed the club, and it's simply...
He talked about how he got sacked, where basically he on the day the managers were switching over. That was his claim. That's his claim, innit? So
I don't think we should
waste too much time on Martin.
Yeah, I agree.
I know, but the point is, I like Martin O'Neill, and I don't like to feel like this about him. So I wish he would just stop and just be happy for us, please.
Yeah. It's amazing how many ex-players of big achieving clubs then slag those clubs off. You've only got to look at likes of Neville and
David
Roy
Johnson
Keane and
David
Johnson, yeah. It's true, isn't it? Those and Graham Souness often slags Liverpool off. I mean, not right this second, obviously, because they're doing well, but they've done badly. I suppose it's they look at what they achieved, and if they're not achieving that now, then they're rubbish. That's where they get.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Rob. After I think it was Villa where I remember him best at. Yeah, after that, you're like, man, we need him at Forest. And then ever since, probably after Harty, you're like, please let him be linked now. Oh crap, he's gone to Celtic. Oh, he's not gonna come now.
Yeah, he was always too good for us. He was always too good for us. He didn't want to stoop down to.
If we were in the Premier League, he would have come. But I always felt he could have got us out in his prime. He could have got us out
again. Let's get back to reality. He's not a Forest
get back
fan.
to the actual proper
Forest. I was going to say he's not a Forest fan.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't grow up a Forest fan. He's not a Forest fan. Why?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but he should still.
It doesn't. It's about what you achieved at the club.
No, going back to when he was touted to take over from Cloughy, he said afterwards that he could never have taken over from the great man. He said it had to be somebody else. But that doesn't excuse for all the other opportunities through the years that he could have.
But he even cried about his medals, didn't he?
I don't know. But like you said, let's not.
He only got one. What was he saying? I think they didn't give him the medal.
It was. Yeah, he didn't play in one. He didn't play in both.
But he didn't get the medal. He had to get it.
Yeah, he got promised a medal, but he didn't get one.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, let's talk about the road to our third star, right? Which is well on track. Have we finished with Elanga? You didn't finish answering. 50 mil. Chat saying 67% would not sell him. Interesting.
Wow. Okay, so I'm sure it was the other way around last week.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, I think
more that would sell. There was definitely more that would sell. I think it might have been 57%, but it was definitely more that would sell.
But you can't afford to just get rid of him and have nobody come in. So it depends on who.
Absolutely not.
Like I said last week, money doesn't mean anything to us.
Just on the point about Mbeumo, yes, we want Mbeumo, but I want to keep Elanga as well. Do you not think we need a squad over the next few seasons? And there's a question I want to ask, and I don't know if I want to ask it now, but
ask it now. I've got a flying head I got to get rid of. So you're in charge.
It's more than likely that we are going to finish in the European position. I think we'd all be.
Come on.
We don't know. I think the majority of fans base, if we put it in the chat, would you be upset with not finishing in Europe now? I think most would say they would. So let's say we're expecting to finish in Europe. We're going to need a squad. You know, whether you're in Conference League, Europa League, or dare we say it, Champions League. Part of me says I would like another season of building the squad before we go into Europe. But then the other side of me says you may not give this chance again.
Kick him off.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. So, is it too soon for Europe? Is next season too soon for Europe? That's what.
No, is it too soon for promotion, you idiot?
No, right. I would say you have to grab these things whilst they're available.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I understand 100% what you're saying, because look at Villa, how they're suffering because of their Champions League stuff, and Newcastle suffered last year terribly because of their Champions League escapades. So I understand what you're saying is, but can we afford to not take it when it's there for us?
No, we can't.
And also, are you ever ready for Europe? Because it's hard to build a European squad when you're not actually in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because those players are not willing to sit on the bench and wait. They will if it's Europe, because they've got the opportunities. 100%. So it's hard to build a squad until you're in Europe, and then you want to stay in Europe. And the longer you stay in Europe, then
the other side, and I'm playing devil's. I'm just asking a question, because the other side of it is when you got players like Marilla. If we don't get into Europe, if we haven't got European football next season, there's no way he's staying for another season. In my opinion. But if you have got, when you got,
we will get European football. And look, we'll never. I don't think we'll ever have a chance like this in regards to the other big six having such a bad season. People like Man City, Man United, Spurs. It's not very often you see a season like this where
it's almost a perfect storm, isn't it?
Very good point, Crypto. That is an excellent point.
Thank you, Rob. I give way to you.
No, look, the biggest enemy we've got. Sorry, my segue was interrupted. Go on. Right, the biggest problem the biggest enemy we've got is our own ambition, right? But I would ask you this: if everybody here says like, "Oh, what's our ambitions? Is it top four? Is it whatever?" What do you think Marinakis' ambition is? His ambition is to win the effing Premier League, right?
And the Champions League.
And Champions League.
And I think we are worried to say these things out loud now because we're a little bit worried about people laughing at us. Who's laughing at us now? Are Man United laughing at us? Are Spurs laughing at us? Right?
No, but that's the problem, Rob. They still are. They still are saying, "Well, we're going to drop down."
If we think back to 1994-95, you know, obviously. That was a hell of a season. We had, but we had Man United and Newcastle, and we had a bit of imposter syndrome because we'd only just got promoted, and we think like, "Oh, isn't third good? Haven't we done well finishing third?" Look, we may not have this opportunity again for another 10, 15 years. If we don't make Champions League, we could be taking a step back. We could be losing one or both of those central defenders, right? So we have to succeed to survive at this level. We shouldn't be thinking like, "Oh, we can make a real push next season." No, we're in position now. We're in position now.
Can I just say, Rob, in 94-95, I didn't have imposter syndrome. I'd seen it all before, mate.
Wolfie looks like he's in the middle of a horror set. He's about to be
Mate, you know what I'm in the middle of? Breaking Bad. Remember that worst episode on TV I've ever seen with that fly?
The fly.
Yeah. I got it out of my window 2 days ago and it's magically reappeared, man. Sorry.
The thing is,
right? In a meth lab? Is that a meth lab?
Players like Murillo, etc. They want kind of two things. I'm presuming here. I'm making presumptions. They want Champions League football, which I think we can give them now. And all right, fuck you, Andy. And the other thing they want is a huge salary. Now that could be the difference because yes, we can probably give them European football, but can we afford to pay them $250,000 a week? And I really hope none of them leave in Jan. I hope we see this season out. But I'm thinking long term, are we the type of club to pay players that huge wage like the top 6 would?
Can you say that all again, Crypto? Because I missed that.
It's all about the wage structure. Do we have to break the wage structure to
yeah,
keep our players?
Yeah. Wage structure wise, we don't have to be Man United and Arsenal. We don't have to pay 300 grand a week. You can get good players on far less. These clubs like Man U, in particular, Spurs less so, Arsenal they do. They pay these wages that really aren't necessary. Rashford,
yeah, but what I was saying,
hang on, Rashford, 350 grand a week. That's a new contract. He only signed it at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So 350 grand a week. Nobody else in the world will pay that for Rashford.
Yeah,
No,
you're going to see
why-
a step away from that. Everyone's going to step away from that because everyone's seen what's happened to Man U now. They can't get rid of him. No one's going to pay those wages.
Man United,
Chelsea, they put theirs, I think, 120. That's it.
7-year deals.
No player above 120.
7-year deals. Yeah.
And Man United
anyway.
is relegated.
So on the European thing, I think what you said is absolutely spot on. What Crypto is saying, there's teams not in form, but we do what we need to do, and we get it. And the sooner the better. My argument is, did we get promoted too soon? No, we didn't. We didn't get promoted soon enough.
You strengthen, don't you?
You can't.
You get European players. You're in a stronger position to bring the better players in because you've got European football. So you strengthen. And we know Mr. Marinakis.
There are different rules. Anyway. But there are different rules. I don't want to get... Look, once we qualify for Europe, I'll do a video on it. But there's a different cap level from UEFA in terms of PSR and financial fair play. Yeah, we'll save that for once we're officially...
Okay, well, that's Europe. And that's an important
threshold.
Yeah, but that's an important thing to know. But the point I want to lead on to is this is it. So we're about to go into the January transfer window. We obviously there's still a few bits of deadwood which we will try and get rid of. Players on the periphery and on the fringe you aren't going to get a chance anyway. But we need to be building on the squad that we've currently got. There's not too many players in this squad, and we're not in any PSR trouble that we have to sell anybody. So yeah, JWP. I think JWP's.
All right, we're doing a poll on him. Would you terminate his contract, Ez? I'll do a poll as well. Would you terminate
the most one-sided poll we've ever had?
Well, I think as well, even from me, who I seem to have jinxed him with since we've met up. But again, yesterday when he came on, I don't want to criticize any players from yesterday, but he was the one who made the least. I mean,
it was anonymous, mate. It was anonymous.
Yeah, the substitutions were really late though from Nuno. But
I was staggered when he came on. I was staggered. I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, but do you remember what I said pre-match? He was the only fit CM on that bench.
Yeah,
if we went a 4-back.
But back to your question, yes, I'd terminate his contract in January.
Do you think he's been given a fair crack at the whip? I mean, look at Elanga. He's turned his form around. He's been at Forest a year longer than him.
He's had a 2-year crack at the whip because we could look at his West Ham performances as well. And I told you when he got here, he's rubbish.
I wouldn't get rid of him for that very reason, unless we're going to bring more in. But if Danilo and Sangare aren't guaranteed to be back, which maybe Danilo will be back. It sounds
by the way, sorry to interrupt you, Crypto, but a journalist finally asked that question in Nuno's presser today.
Yeah.
He said they're both still out, but he said he's hopeful it's short, not long.
This is the
usual,
thing.
Crypto way. Probably means they start on Sunday.
All it takes is for Dominguez to get injured, and then you've got no CMs on the bench. So you can't just terminate his loan unless you're bringing in a replacement.
Yeah, and the club wouldn't do that. They'd obviously have somebody else lined up. But I'm saying if we bring somebody else in, you open up that loan position again. There must be players available for loan.
But you forget we got Danilo and Sangare to come back in.
Yeah, exactly. We have players to come back as well, but we have got that.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense why West Ham were happy to let him go for a season. I mean, I've just verified this according to this website, sportrack.com. Can you?
That's official.
Yeah, I know. I had no idea he was paid more than. Right, if you look at who are the next 4 on the wage list: Milenkovic, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, and Wood. That's who you'd expect. Why the hell is Wood? He's this season's Divock Origi.
Yeah, but there's no transfer fee attached to him, just a loan fee.
Sure. But if he was on like 40, 50 grand a week and he was somewhere in the middle of that table, I'd think, useful squad player, decent set pieces, etc. But I mean, no, James Ward-Prowse, right? But he is the highest paid player.
I don't care if he's on 50 pence a month. It's shit.
Right, this is the point. This is the point.
We've had these
You've got injuries
before.
in that area. That's what I'm saying. You got injuries.
Yeah, get somebody better for that money. Get somebody better.
That's what I'm saying.
We agree.
That's what I'm saying about Elanga, and you guys are like, no, we can't get anyone better. It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Yeah. Elanga's our player. Elanga's our player. We're building on a team. He's not.
And he has talent.
I'm not saying sell Elanga. I think he's brilliant.
He scored goals in the last couple of games. Ward-Prowse has done nothing.
I'm just saying. Let me just put this out there, because otherwise people will start crying on Twitter to me. I wouldn't sell Elanga. I think Elanga is a good player. I prefer him as a super sub. However, for 50 million, I think there's better options out there.
Okay,
I agree with what he's saying. 50 million.
50 million
salary list. Hang on. Do you know what? Do you know that James Ward? Fact. Point.
All right, chill. Go on.
Does this sway your opinion at
all? You chill. We want a bit of excitement on this pod. It's got bloody boring, man.
James Ward-Prowse is paid.
Shut up, Rob.
You're not interested in information. You just want to talk bollocks.
BBC.
James Ward-Prowse is paid 5 times as much as Anthony Elanga.
Why don't you tell us how much Elanga's on? I can't bother doing
maths.
25,000
a week, according to this.
No, that's not right. That's not right.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Really?
When was this?
Really?
Okay, I'll put the link in the chat. But
are you looking at the BBC again?
Who are you linking to, Rob? Who are you linking to?
Just by logic, he won't be, because he was an ex-Man U player, and they give overinflated salaries.
I said he's called
I'm sure he's on like
20 years old. Okay,
I've got the list somewhere, mate. I'll dig it up. He's
Rob, who are you linking to? Just give me the information.
It's in the chat now, so have a look at that.
It's a simple enough question. I can't click on it. Well, let me click on it, because it says show on screen like that.
No, it's in the live chat, Ant. It's in the live chat.
If you're not interested in information, just
it's fake news. Rob, you are fake news.
But
you are the Can we get back to the football? Can we get back to the football, please?
Can we go back on track? Because you asked, has he been given his chance? I think he has had the opportunity, like Crypto kind of alluded to. We've had injuries in that central midfield position, and he's not managed to force his way in. So I don't think it's a lack of him getting the opportunity. I think he's not been good enough, and Nuno's not seen enough in him.
I think he's on 50k, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. Yes.
Yeah, so I think Nuno's not seen enough from him in training to put him in, because there's been games when obviously we've been short of numbers in that midfield position, and he's not popped him in. So I don't think he's in Nuno's longer term thinking, not even until the end of the season. And
not any shorter term thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And also when you get a player on loan that is as experienced as Ward-Prowse is, and he is experienced, you expect him to be able to come straight in and do a job. You're not expecting to give him time, let him bed in, all that lot. No, that's what you get youngsters for. When you go for an experienced player like that on a loan, you expect him to make an immediate impact, and he didn't.
No, well, I'm just going to defend him on that one point, because I think he did make an immediate impact. His only game that I remember was that Liverpool game.
He goes on about that. He wasn't bloody.
No, and he was very good in that game. We won that game. Let's just leave it at that then. In my opinion, because I think it is down to opinion. I think he had a very good game, but that is the only good game he's had. Okay. And that is the only one. And that was his first game. But since then, no.
But he's also had terrible games. The one against who did he get sent off against?
It was Arsenal, wasn't it? Arsenal.
No, it wasn't Arsenal. It was at home, wasn't it? Chat will remember. You know when we ended up.
Tell you what, he made that little impression on me. I can't even remember him getting sent off.
So you remember he fell over and then he literally pulled the pants down of the player in front of him.
Yeah.
Who was it? Chat? Chelsea. Was it Chelsea? Oh, it was Chelsea. Okay, Chelsea away.
One of those big teams, anyway.
Yeah.
I think regardless of James Ward-Prowse, I reckon Marinakis is going to go all in, gamble, double down in January, and buy as many decent players.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as that. I'm sorry to be a ball ache, but it's not as simple as going all in. You've got to you've got to work within that stupid PSR.
Yeah, but they'll already have their targets identified. It'll be going for a new striker.
What I'm trying to say, Crypto, is if he can, then I believe he will. If he could go and spend 100 million on a striker, I think he would. But you can't.
A whole million.
100
He said
million.
100.
Oh, I thought you said a million. I was like, wow.
So
let me just...
so I think we would, but we are, every club is restricted.
I didn't notice this until I just read this. Stuart with another £10. Thank you so much, Stu. He says, has Rob been mugged or did he put on mascara the one going round? Rob, have you got two black eyes?
No, I've just been over celebrating. Just been over. Look, it's the shadow. It's the shadow. Leave me alone. I've been celebrating.
Who put him on full screen?
He did a sign. He did a sign
to see his eyes.
Chat, what do you reckon? Why
are
we
celebrating the Boxing Day victory? That's
wow. Yeah, the life in Leeds is.
Were you boxing on Boxing Day?
Yes, and I lost. There you go.
That needs
very good.
That needs a.
That was a layered joke. That was a layered joke.
There it is.
They changed where everything is on the layout. It's so annoying.
You have to wait for football day if you want to watch boxing.
Anyway, thank you so much, Stuart, for the £10. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Chat, YRN, was Rob in a boxing match or is he over celebrating? Okay. Who else do we need to talk about?
No, he's been to Leeds. I know they probably got him to go down some pit or something.
I touched on MGW, but let me say a bit more about it because
let's talk on MGW.
That's only alleged, Des.
But the poll, just before you start, the poll, 77% would terminate Ward-Prowse's contract, 23% would keep him. A worse percentage than that is we got 400 in here and 129 likes. So,
guys, you can do better than that. Come on, man.
Come on, but even I've liked.
He's not even well. He's not even well.
It's Christmas.
Do a sympathy like just for him.
Simply like because I have to listen to these guys with a splitting headache.
Roman orgy to be here, so come on.
Mate, I've still got this stupid fly in this room, man, and I broke my light trying to hit it. It's so annoying.
Why don't you just get your phone out and video it, and then like with Breaking Bad, you can make millions out of it.
Don't tell me about that episode, man. Honestly, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. All right, 346 Moody with the 16 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Man, these numbers are getting huge, boys, on these months and support from this excellent chat, excellent educated chat. Thank you so much, Moody. All right, go on then, let's kick us off on Morgan
Gibbs-White. So a lot of good things seen from him. Again, seen the partnership with him and Anderson as well. Anderson, another one we need to touch on before the end of the show. But MGW yesterday, what I saw, and there's me and Ant noticed it in both halves, where he was linking up the play on the wings. So one time, especially the first half, first time I saw Aina and Elanga really link up, and it was purely down to MGW and his one-touch play and bringing those triangles in, and it was beautiful. And then we saw it again in the second half on the other side, and he was getting involved. You got Nico Williams and Callum Hudson-Odoi, and all three of them getting involved in that sense. What allowed him to do that, though, was the discipline of players like Yates yesterday, who again had, I've got to say, one of his best games, Yates, yesterday, even though he was brought in and we were like, oh God, he's been brought him in, and he wasn't actually up against Maddison for the majority of the game. Yates was brilliant yesterday, but Anderson as well, being disciplined, allowed MG Dub to do what he did yesterday. And he did a lot. He still did a 1 or 2 pirouettes, but he did them in the right part of the pitch. Even when he lost it, it was in the second half. He was in near half. But I've got to say, give him a shout out because he was so influential yesterday in knitting those plays together. And obviously the assist for Elanga's goal was perfect. Literally inch perfect. He couldn't have timed that any better. So you've got to give him again another player who deserves his flowers because he's had his moments where we had pulled him up on his. It's like you guys have said before. It's because we've got a higher ceiling for him. We expect more of him. So we don't. Maybe we are being too harsh at times, but we just expect more from him. And again, he's delivering right now, and it's nice that these little triangles are actually leading to us creating good chances. There was one occasion where he played that pass through and it got Hudson-Odoi one-on-one with Spence, which you wanted to see all game, and he lifted his shot over. But that was a beautiful pass as well, where he set him free. You know, so really good link-up play yesterday. He was the catalyst for our transitions, and I've got to say that if Anderson and Yates didn't play as well as they did and as disciplined as they did, he wouldn't have been able to have the freedom and the influence that he did yesterday. But MG Dub, another 9, at least 9 out of 10 for for me yesterday.
He was fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
9.5.
In spite of
Tell you
crypto.
what, as briefly mentioned it, but I'll just reiterate. He did one of his little pirouettes in the right, about 2/3 up the pitch, and my brother turned to me and said, "Don't mind him losing it there. It's when he does them on the edge of the box that we get a little bit tetchy." So yeah,
so he did it and still lost it, is what you're saying, yeah?
I don't think he lost it,
but it
yeah.
wasn't in a
Got backed
dangerous
up,
position.
yeah.
No, it wasn't in a dangerous position. No,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
because he did a few that worked as well. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Just do
I
it in the
agree.
right place.
I want to talk about Anderson though. Just before I do, let's just catch up. Got a couple of super chats. Matty with the 15 months. Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate it, bro. And the legend Curtis with the $5 US.
Matt from Curtis.
Yeehaw!
We've got so he goes, I think we're going for the DM from Leeds, Ethan, the striker Yuri, Alberto, JWP can go. So there is a lot of transfer news being speculated.
Are these
right
on
now.
loans? Is he saying is he saying these are loan offers that we're putting in?
Yeah, we're putting together a video. The only problem is Forest are playing on Sunday. So from next week, obviously the transfer window will open in January. It's going to be busy. Yeah, I think it's the 3rd. So we will obviously be having your daily Forest news with all the transfer gossip, rumors, signings, everything. We'll have the transfer deadline live stream, all the usual stuff that you guys seem to enjoy. It's just there's so many matches right now, and of course there's the matches on top of it all. So it's going to be a hugely busy month coming up. Like the boys all here can tell you from experience, January transfer window as a content creator is harder than the summer because it's got games as well.
Can I just quickly interject for 1 second? Because we're gonna try and do a short one today because there's a game we all want. I want to see one of our rivals, don't we? For Champions League.
Come on, Ipswich.
But a quick question, because I'm trying to find this stat and I can't find it. So can anybody find me this answer? When's the last time in the top flight, particularly, that we won 5 league games in a row?
94.
I cannot find that stat.
It's 4, so
94, man.
Was it? Did we win
it was
5
either
in a row?
94 or 95. Yeah,
95.
I can't remember 25 wins.
Well, I know 94, 95. In the first 11 games, we won 8 and drew 3. So I'm guessing we might have been in that period.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a look
It
at
was
that.
there was a stat going around.
It's definitely 95.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's not surprising. Because away from home that season, we were exceptional. Away from home that season.
Yeah. You know what I'm tempted to do, guys? I'm just thinking out loud here. I just had an idea. I'm thinking of getting Mr. Clark back on to ask him about the mentality that was required. Because there's a lot of similar traits at the moment between what he did back then with that team and this. And maybe would you guys be interested in chat seeing like the mentality, how he had to deal with things when they first felt that there was a European chase on, a title chase on at some points that season? I wonder, they all say you learn from history.
Did he have to temper their expectations?
Yeah.
Because
he's the perfect guy. He's the perfect guy.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's doing exactly. I mean, okay, we didn't come up last season, but we may as well have come up last season, if you know what I'm saying.
We could ask him. We could, if we were being a bit rude and cheeky, we could actually ask him, who would you take from this squad and who would you take from that squad?
I think he'd be fine.
I would be very interested to hear what he says about that.
Yeah.
And also what he thinks about this squad and what Nuno's doing and stuff. Oh, I'm excited by it.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. So okay, I was just thinking about lads. So I'll get in touch with a legend and we'll hook that up. I think that would be fascinating. Like because Nuno can't sit there and tell us. Like he always has to say table means nothing. But Mr. Clark can turn around and tell us, like looking back on reflection, and there's going to be similar traits to it. All right, we'll hook it up. I don't know where we'll fit it in with January, but we'll figure something out.
But like Anne said, there are, and Rob will agree, and I'm sure Wolfie will pretend not to remember, but there are a lot of similarities with that season. Hell of a lot.
Well, as somebody that obviously experienced both and went to every game, that I have to say, at the moment, I do feel that 95 season was that little bit better because it had more stars in it. You know what I mean? I would say our defense is probably better. This current defense is probably better. But when you go upfield and Stan,
but more away from the team though, and more of a feeling of how we were feeling at the time, because we weren't expected to do anything. You know, we went down with a whimper. We struggled to get up. Okay, we did get promoted at our first attempt, but we did struggle that season. It wasn't an easy promotion for us at all. And there was no expectation on us, certainly not to be finishing in anywhere in the top half.
Let me put it this way, Ez, of our expectations. I think our first home game of the season was an evening game against Manchester United. And I can remember being in the Larwood and Vos and saying to my mates, anything less than 3 against us, anything less than 3-0, that's a result for us. And it was 1-1 with Stan scoring an outstanding goal.
Is that when you were talking to Worrell about Cooper?
Yeah, here we go. No, I think Joe Worrell probably wasn't even born, was he?
No, but I don't know. I'm thinking back to it as a kid. I never felt like we weren't belonging there. Do you know what I mean? It was like we hadn't had this 23-year gap.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that was the difference for me.
Every time I got relegated, it was a song with we're back again next year, and it was expected to come back. You know,
I was a stupid plat, man. Anyway, okay. So I want to just we're going to go on for another 15 minutes. I just want to move it on to, well, should we touch on Nuno quickly? Because I do want to touch on the Everton game coming up.
Yeah, we need to talk about Everton, don't we? Because we're not going to have a chance before the game.
Yeah, all right. I just, look, I said it in today's video, I think Ross Wilson, Marinakis and Nuno and the rest of the backroom staff need some serious praise, man.
Can I just comment on that? Because somebody in the chat said it, Sirianos. It's Sirianos. It's not Ross Wilson. It's Sirianos. Yeah. When he came back in, that's where the biggest change has been. And I can't remember the name of whoever.
But we don't know, Ez. Let's be real. We don't.
No, we don't. But there is
exactly
a lot of things going on. Yeah, but we got to say it's not coincidental, mate. Sirianos came back in, and that's when we started sorting ourselves out a little bit more. You know, but he had to bring him back. He made a mistake when he got rid of him initially, but he brought him back, and that just shows a lot about Mr. Marinakis. Yes, he's been accused of being trigger happy, certainly at Olympiacos. We saw what he did in that first season after we got promoted to the Premier League. But in terms of what he's done with Forest, you know, it's definitely been a lot more structured this season, and you've seen the fruits of it on the pitch. And you've seen it in the stadium. Stadium is looking better than it ever has done, you know, even if it is on the, you know, it's on the fascia and it looks nice, but it looks better than it does. The mood around the club, the fan base, being on things like, you know, football focus, you know, the focus on the football club right now is as big as it's been for 25 years, you know, and I think we're dealing with it better than we did in that first season. When we first came up, there was a lot of things behind the scenes that we weren't doing right, and it kind of showed in that first season. But we got through these last couple of years of building, and this season now we're seeing some real things on the pitch and off the pitch, and it can only get better. But for the people who are behind the scenes, they've obviously been working hard since the summer. So when we're going into this January transfer window, it's just a carrying on from the summer. So the same players that they would have been scouting then.
Come on, finish up. Come on.
Similar, if not more players. Go on, what am I trying to say? Well, carry on.
Somebody else, man. It's a monologue. We got to squeeze Everton.
Sorry.
All right. On this one, I had my say on it, so I don't need to say anything. Laurie's right though. Rob, I never hear you praising Marinakis too much. What are you saying to what he did in the tunnel? I'm joking.
What are you talking about?
I'm joking.
And you hate Morgan Gibbs-White.
Oh God. Right, okay. Shall we talk about the Everton game?
Did you get all soppy and, you know, softy cuddly when you're seeing a billionaire sitting there like a little kid fan greeting all the players? Have you seen it?
Well, it's better than spitting at the officials, but no, look,
he didn't. He's got a phlegm problem.
Yeah, he's got a cigar smoking habit, and I mean, like Djed Spence spat on the ground, didn't he? He should have a 5-match stadium ban now. But no, look, I mean, Marinakis is clearly the best owner in the Premier League. You name someone that's better
in the world.
You name someone that's better.
Well,
you can even clip that. You name someone that's better, and he's, you know, and like I say, his ambition is to win the Premier League. I'm sure it is. So, and good on him. I mean, he spent the money. Can we just move on to the Everton game if we've only got like 11 minutes?
I want to talk about that.
I got something I want to say about that. All right. So I love this habit we've developed of winning 1-0. All right. I want us to go and win 1-0 at Goodison Park before they knock it down and just shut that Sean Dyche up. But I was going to say there's a certain type of fan and a certain type of pundit who said, I don't mind losing a few games as long as we're attractive to watch. I don't want to just win every game 1-0. I want us to play entertaining football. Well, thank God for those people. I'm not naming names. But
Oh, who said that?
Name names, otherwise it doesn't mean anything.
Oh, come on, it's the oldest cliche in the book. Oh, I'd rather play exciting. Well, I'm sick of losing 3-2, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy at winning 1-0. Crystal Palace 1-0. Liverpool 1-0.
Well, Steve Cooper.
All of you have said it at some point.
Anyway. Whoa. Don't tell me with that brush.
All I was going to say is,
can we talk about the Everton game?
Oh, they're all in the chat. They're all saying it was Ant.
Really? I didn't say that. If the chat say it, though,
that's absolute bollocks.
Yeah, well, if the chat say it,
let me get this right. So I said at some point I'd rather Forest lose than win.
Wait, what was the exact quote? Because there's loads in the chat saying that.
Absolute bollocks. I really couldn't care less what the chat says. There are a load of twats anyway. So when did I say this?
Touchy rattled him.
No, I told you a lot before. You can call me any names on the sun: twat, pillock, knobrot, wankstain.
He's been holding all this.
But don't ever question my integrity. I don't tell lies.
Wait, I want to know what the accusation is.
Like
Rob's just putting out false accusations. Like
I didn't name anybody. I didn't.
All right. So in the spirit of not naming anybody,
Forest lose than win. Never.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Can someone clip this up? Wait. In the spirit of not naming anybody, what did this non-named person say again, Rob?
Something along the lines
I remember the attractive football quote. Yeah. I wanted to play attractive football. Of course I do.
All right.
I never said I wanted to lose.
Stop, man. I want to hear the quote of this person that shall not be named.
You'll need to go back to the final days of Steve Cooper, where we were talking about trying to grind out.
Oh, bloody hell! All bets are off, and it's about Steve
Cooper.
We were talking about Steve Cooper. It's all off because I'd rather have lost 27-0 every week than have Steve Cooper. So I retract what I just said.
Yeah, well, that was the context.
Just because you were a big Cooper in fan and you were trying to trap me into saying Cooper in. That's what you were trying to do. You were trying to say to me, so you'd rather us lose 4-3 every week than win 1-0 with Steve Cooper if you want. That I can imagine you doing, try and justify your Cooper in agenda. And I didn't fall for it. So I didn't fall for it. So I kidded. I said, no, I'd rather us lose than that twat be in. Right.
And now a year later,
so try and get context. So hang on, people in the chat. Try and get context. Use your IQ, use your brain, and think of the point I was actually trying to make. Right? Think about it before you start slagging me off.
It's taken Rob a year to pull that receipt in.
I was going to say, Rob's like an elephant. He never forgets.
Yeah, but you've got to have context with these things. And I've just explained to you. As soon as he mentioned
Elanga, anyone could have scored the goal.
As soon as he mentioned, I will always defend my honor. As soon as he mentioned Cooper, I thought, I was pissing it because I was trying to because he was trying to trap me into Cooper in.
Context is important. The context is important, but can we all just agree now that it would be lovely to win a whole load more games 1-0 because that's how you get in the Champions League, right? You know,
I don't care what
big
score
clubs.
Why can't we win 4-0? Are you against that?
Yeah. I'm happy with one. I'm happy with 1-0. Go 1-0 up, bring on Morato, job done. I don't mind doing that every week.
Anyway, I want to talk about Everton before we close.
You can talk about it, but you told everyone to call you names, and they're all calling you names, mate.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. That's funny. You know what I mean? And anyway,
you've seen the
you've told us not to swear. It's all right for you, lot, isn't it? You can swear.
Go on, talk about Everton, man. We're running out of time.
Yeah, I think we'll win because I think there's no chance in hell those people are going to score against us. I don't think there's any way that Everton are going to score against us, and we will always create one or two chances. So I think we're going to win 1-0. 1-0. Rob.
Their biggest threat.
1-0, and it's going to be another classic Forest display, same as the ones we've been doing recently. Tight at the back, score a goal, end the game, basically.
Morato.
You sound like Rob.
If you text me, Rob, on Sunday, I swear to God, what's up, mate?
Their biggest threat last season, we played them twice last season, obviously, but the biggest threat in each game was our biggest weakness. Their biggest strength was our biggest weakness. Their set pieces, their corners was their strength, and that was what we were.
No, it wasn't.
It was. That was
how much you want to bet?
Well, wasn't their biggest strength.
£1,000 quid.
Against us.
Name your price. Name your price. I'll put a poll. What I think their biggest strength was last season versus yours, and let's see who the chat back.
No, I mean against us. That was the easiest way. And that is how they scored against us.
No, it wasn't.
Didn't they score from set pieces?
That wasn't their biggest strength.
Do you know what we should do that we did at the end of last year?
Their biggest strength was Stuart Twatwell.
Okay. It wasn't their biggest strength, whatever. Okay, anyway, what their threats was. Okay, it's one of their threats. It was one of their threats.
What, the rep?
Oh,
do you know what we should do?
Yeah.
He was Luton. How can you forget? How can you forget?
No, I haven't forgotten that.
Yeah,
but I mean,
was Luton. So I pulled the tweet up.
Ez, just carry on with your very pertinent point.
Yeah, my point.
And ignore any exterior barricades.
Yeah, like you said, we're not going to score against us because we've got the best defense from set piece, so they're not going to score against us. Open play, they're not going to break through us. So for me, I would like a bit more than a 1-0 actually. Like Carol said in the chat, 2 or 3-0, so it's a little less of a heart attack. But yesterday, I was comfortable. I don't care what Rob's saying. I was actually comfortable. They were not a threat yesterday. And the only way they were getting any joy was trying to take long pot shots. And their pot shots were poor. So, no, 2-0 would be nice, but 1-0, I don't mind. And yesterday wasn't a panic for me anyway. Go on, carry on, guys.
I was just going to say, a year ago, 5 minutes, all right, I'll speak slowly. A year ago, we did a poll at the end of the year.
Less than 5 minutes, Ez.
Shut up, man. We did a poll at the end of the year saying, who's the biggest...
He's only got 2.5 minutes now.
Who's the biggest pillock on GOR? I think we should do it again now. End of year poll.
What's that got to do with Everton? What's that got to do with Everton?
Pillock. I want to know who the fans think.
Yeah, but we all know who the biggest pillock is.
You're talking yourself into it right now, Crypto, so I don't mock that.
I'll do it.
It's only because I want to vote for Rob.
I've got a feeling that people...
He's got all 4 of his
people are going to say me.
my prediction for the game is 2-0 to Forest.
Could be.
I would have gone 1-0, but Rob talked me out of it.
Should we just go straight predictions then? Because we haven't got long yet.
Well, we've run out of time because you have derailed this.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for this poll.
Another glorious slots, so I can't put my glorious 1-0. It's going to be a glorious 1-0.
73% crypto. This is bollocks. Cancel the poll.
You talked yourself into it, bro. You talked yourself into it.
Yo.
I'm going to stick to my...
only on 2%. It's pathetic. Nobody's bothered. It's got no interest in it.
Ed's and Robber in single digits.
I don't get abused. Hated or adored, never ignored. That's me and you, mate.
1%. So people don't hate me, man. But
prediction-wise,
that's true.
Last 4 games, I've won 2-1. I'm sticking with a 2-1. With your
all right, now his camera's frozen. All right, we're done. All right,
he's been talking for too long.
We better go.
Yeah, we'll call it there. All right. This derailed very quickly. Forest are 3rd in the league for another minute, at least. At most or at least. I don't know. Tomorrow we got a preview for the Everton game. I can't do a preview of Everton Mike because he's sunning himself in his bikini out in Egypt. But I don't think there's any time anyway because the match is on Sunday. And the rivalry acts I will be doing that after the Everton game, a special edition, longer one for that. There are some scintillating clips I've already put together for you lot. Anyway, congratulations to Crypto, who is the biggest pillock. Es and Rob, you are loved by the chat and got 22% of the vote, and Crypto got 68% of the vote.
No, it's clearly them
I
two,
can
innit?
finish at one point. Rob, that's how you win an election.
Yes,
Well,
mate.
We'll
you
see you
tell him.
tomorrow.
How you
Please hit
win
the
an
like
election.
button if you haven't already
Merry
subscribed.
Christmas,
Come on.
everybody.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
New
All
Year
that
and
good
all
stuff.
festivities.
Christmas.
Happy holidays. And
You will.
You read?
You will.
You ready?